that time. This is the moment you've been waiting on. Once again, they back. The Just Us Show. Y'all know what we do if y'all love them. Y'all know what we do if y'all hate them. But whatever you do, let's get this line of communication open. We got some things to talk about, so let's go.
Welcome. You are now tuned in to another episode of the Just Us Show. This is Vaughn.
What's going on, everybody? This is Woody.
It's your boy Mike. What's poppin'?
So as you guys know, well, you don't know, but it's been a while because we ain't really posted nothing. But anyway,
well, that stuff is coming. So
yeah, we got.
it's
Yeah,
coming.
it's
We just had, we're just trying to do a little transition.
and we're all
period.
black, so you already know it's gonna take some time with the rollout. All right.
So let's go ahead and not waste any more time and jump into the first topic of the show, which is the Ari
Shafir. Shafir. That's how you say his name.
The Muslim brother that was talking bad about Kobe. I'm just joking. He's not Muslim. I think he's Jewish.
What do y'all think about it? Like, what was the first? If you've seen it, what was your first instinct on it?
Bill Cosby.
That's
the first thing I thought, man. I think it's just horrible how it's just automatically like, just because. Well, first of all,
wait.
I'm sorry.
Let me give
I went straight into it.
a background real quick.
Yeah.
For those who didn't know, because I honestly didn't know about this tweet until Woody, you said something today about it. So this guy is a comedian who I've never heard of before, but apparently he has a following. He's known for his tasteless, or I don't hate to say that, it's jokes that are on the edge, jokes that may offend
dark
people.
Humor.
Yeah, dark humor.
There you go. Yep.
So I mean, he put this tweet out, and if I could find it, I'd read it. But basically, it's talking about how Kobe was a rapist, and basically his whole sexual assault trial that happened back in the late 90s,
I think it was
early 2000s. But the way he put the tweet out there, I guess it was meant to be a joke, but it was more so trolling as a joke. But the way he put it out there, you wouldn't read it as a joke. You'd read it as a personal attack on Kobe. So I can see where the anger and the outrage came from.
Well, plus the thing with Ari Shafir is, like I said, he does his thing. He does his thing whether you agree with it or not. But he's been one in the past. He's spoken out against Kobe Bryant and the Lakers.
Yeah.
I mean, even though he lives in LA and he's a comedian and everything, he's not a fan of the Lakers or Kobe Bryant. And he's mentioned the rape, the whole rape deal and everything in the past. So that's just who he is. Nothing against that. You do what you do as a artist. Nothing is off limits. But
wait, what does he do though?
Well,
I've never seen him.
He's a comedian. He has a Netflix special. I've never really, like I said, I've never heard of this guy until
Right, me neither.
And he also talks and jokes about celebrity deaths. So that's like one of his things that he does.
And here's the actual tweet. Kobe Bryant died 23 years too late today. He got away with rape because all the Hollywood liberals who attack comedy enjoy rooting for the Lakers more than they dislike rape. Big ups to the hero who forgot to gas up his chopper. I hate the Lakers what a great day. Now, that really doesn't sound like a joke. That sounds like you're actually happy that the man died.
Right.
That sounds like the dude's clout chasing. Because let's be real.
I mean, trolling at its finest.
Right. Does anybody know who this dude is if he didn't say anything about Kobe?
Right.
Period. Like, nobody's checking for no Ari Shafir. That's his name?
Yeah.
I'm not checking for that. It's Shafir.
Can't even get his name right. I don't even know.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But I mean, he's basically clout chasing.
Yeah.
Because according to what I remember reading his tweets, according basically on this dude's background, if he's been in Hollywood that long and you're now getting clout based on the fact that you're basically joking about a beloved figure and I guess just the community in America, he's like, Kobe Bryant's like apple pie at this point, right?
Yeah.
Prior to his death, it was just Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Emmitt Smith, a few other Cowboys. Yeah, right. Anyway, right.
Man, come on, man. Let's stay focused.
What I'm saying is, I think honestly, basically, it was clouding. That's all I'm trying to get at. The dude's clouding. He's not really. I've never heard of him before until this. And the fact we're giving them attention means he did his job.
But I mean, the way I look at it is, I believe that it could be clout chasing for him.
Right.
And I'm a Laker fan. I'm a Kobe fan. Everybody who knows me knows this. But to me, it's not a problem that you're joking about Kobe Bryant, like not his death, but about Kobe Bryant. So all the stuff that he did prior to Kobe dying and stuff, it is what it is. I think the main issue is when you're joking about Kobe Bryant dying, you're also adding in the families of those other people that died too. Like that was a tragedy.
Right.
Regardless if you're a sports fan or not, the fact that his daughter is dead and the fact that those other parents and those other kids are also dead, to me, that makes it off limits. To me, if a celebrities are real people. Everyone's a real person, you know. Like, so if something happens to somebody, you have the right to say whatever the hell you want. But when it comes to kids, like there's certain things that should be, it's unwritten, but it should be off limits, in my opinion.
So you say basically battle rap rules need to be applied to the media. You can't.
You know what? I mean, that's
what you're saying. Like, you can't go too deep. You can go personal, but you can't go to a point where
you can't go kids and
if you're gonna defend if you're gonna go at somebody, at least go at an adult. You know.
Right.
But like I said, what he says, it is what it is. Now he's got a lot of death threats and stuff like that. So at the same token, I do feel if you want to speak out about somebody as a comedian, an actor, whatever, a celebrity, or just a regular person, you have every right to say what you want. I believe that. But at the same token, if things come with that,
you should be willing to accept it.
Yes, you have to. Those are certain things you have to be prepared for.
Take that ass whooping because you said something, and if somebody got mad about it, then okay, either take it.
Right, and I'm not.
I think that's very fair. Like, I think honestly, like even trolls
the
on
Gayle King thing.
Right.
Gayle King kind of deserved that shit because she knew, even no matter how you try to say, well, the network cut it and took it out of context. Point being, why ask that question in the first fucking place?
Right. And the thing is, look, if you want to ask the question,
you should have asked it when he was alive.
Right.
If it mattered that much to you, you should have asked the question when he was alive.
But he was acquitted of the charge.
Exactly.
So he's not a rapist. Like, no. And that's the problem.
The chick had her boyfriend's nut in her underwear.
Two different.
No, they say she had 8 different men. 8 different semen samples.
Actually,
in her.
We should actually be like rejoicing that this man was able to still play basketball.
Yeah, he didn't come down with some disease that would kill him.
Because he basically just stuck his penis into a septic tank. That's what he just did.
He did what Magic couldn't do. He got away unscathed.
Hey, that's one way to look at it. That's one way. But it's just one of those things. Like, and even with the Gayle King thing, like, yes. Did she cross the line talking about Kobe, bringing up Kobe? Yes and no, because once again, you have the freedom to ask these questions. Whether it's the network pushing it, whether it's Oprah
First
pushing
Amendment,
it don't matter who's doing it. But you also have to be able to accept the consequences that come with that. You know, and the thing with Gayle King is, a lot of people had issue with that, but also some that didn't have issue with what she asked. They're just like, look, if you're gonna ask about Kobe, why not also ask about other folks too, like the Epsteins, of just folks like that. So that's all they're saying. Like, if you're gonna ask this question about him,
give it equal attention.
Right. That's what a lot of people have. So, like I said, we can dissect this.
And Snoop didn't help.
Right, but the thing is,
Snoop never helps. He just only harms, bro.
Like, and you know what? And to me, honestly, that's one of the downfalls and pitfalls with like social media. Granted, Snoop is a celebrity. But Snoop is not going to, my opinion, he's not going to be on CNN or on BET, CBS, whatever, and he's not going to be up there talking like that. That was like at home, his personal. He was in his mode, and he put it out there.
He took it personally,
and
but
anyone can place that shit out
there will likely act on it because they follow shit like
that.
Right,
because it's Snoop saying it.
Live
right.
and breathe for somebody famous to tell them what the fuck to do.
And some reason, the more money you have in your pocket kind of like validates the opinions you have.
Right. It boosts your intelligence level.
I blame that on the Jesus piece. Now, we'll get back to that at a later date. Now, the reason I brought up Bill Cosby was due to the fact that, honestly, it's like you basically already put Kobe in a position where he's guilty. And it was okay. It felt okay to Gayle King to actually say that. You know what I mean? Even though this person was acquitted and everything like that. Same thing with Bill Cosby. It's like there's no evidence, there's nothing connecting him to any rape forever. Yet somehow it's okay for me to say this man's a rapist without any type of proof behind it.
Okay.
Giving more credence to what a woman says without any type of background to it. And since I think this is a great segue, this is the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation. Have we? I know
I've
brothers
heard,
are in the Tyler Perry category. I know you ain't listening. You ain't listening, huh?
I haven't had time to catch more shit. So what happened?
Are you a beloved fan of Johnny Depp? He is a great actor.
Pirates of the
he is.
Caribbean was a pretty good movie.
He is. He's a great actor.
Did you notice the dude was cut off from Pirates of the Caribbean? The chick that he basically that accused him of beating her up.
Yeah, Amber Heard was it ex-wife?
Right. Yeah.
Girlfriend.
Ex-wife,
Wife, girlfriend, something.
Wife.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah.
Okay. Just recently, audio tapes were released of her literally talking about beating him. Even to the point where she's even saying, like, who's going to believe you? You're a man. I'm a woman. Like, I mean, we're going to go back to sports, of course.
I honestly believe that shit really happened.
Oh, yeah, it definitely does, you know.
I think you can't vilify every man that's been accused of sexual assault, because there are women who will use that as an excuse or reason to get you in trouble.
Right.
Or blow your brains out. I've been watching a lot of ID channel. You know what I'm saying?
Investigate
It happens
Discovery,
quite.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It happens quite a lot.
Those bitches fuck it up for the real victims who are getting ran through and mistreated and not being taken serious.
Right.
Exactly. So I mean, the fact is, this man lost jobs. He was vilified on the news. Nobody wanted to work with him. Things of that nature. To the way, what I'm saying is, it gets to a point where we're getting into a part of society where proof doesn't need to be there for me to accuse you of being something that you may not be.
Well, you've always been guilty before.
But we're in a country where literally it's supposed to
You're
be.
supposed to be innocent before proven guilty, but you're already guilty. You have to prove your innocence, no matter what. You're guilty until you prove that you're not.
Right, but see, that's the thing, and that's a perfect segue into one of the things that I had said earlier about the whole justice system, like kind of the way it's set up. It's not set up. It's set up that if you have money, I mean, no matter what somebody wants to say, it's
Perfect
set up.
Example. Go ahead.
It's set up where if you have money, you can get away with more than the average person, because
if you have money, you can get out of jail because the president fucking commutes your fucking sentence.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
That's wealth right there. If you have that money or that influence, then you can get away with some shit and be let go.
Right, because you got to understand, like when it comes to the justice system, that's still employment. There's still jobs. There's still livelihoods that everything is attached to. Which, when you think about it, justice or injustice, that shouldn't be tied to a paycheck, but it is, and it shouldn't be tied to status and clout, but it is. It's all a political game. But the way the system works is, when you get tried for something, you know, basically the prosecuting side and the defending side, they're both in on it together. They want to make sure, I mean, they're opposing parts, but they want to make sure that they can get it settled before trial. Everything, they want to go through arbitration, they want to go through pre-trial, they want to settle before you get to trial. Now, if you have money, then you can go to trial, because you have money to keep going back and forth and keep this thing tied up. It's almost like a play production. If you have money, you can have a play go on for days, or shooting a movie. You can shoot for a month and make a great movie or make a good movie.
Right,
But if you don't have money, you better get these takes right on the first time, so we can get it out and hopefully we get a return on this shit. That's what the justice system is. There's too many cases to be tried. So what do? They try to cut everything. It's almost like paying bills. You know, if you're behind in bills, you looking at your shit like, man, I get paid X amount of dollars. I got to pay all this shit down. So what I'll start doing, I'll start cutting off these little bills, and paying them shits off, and then I'll double up with that and, you know, pay some bigger bills so I can get all the bills down. That's what they do with trials. All the little shit that we can just settle, let's just settle. What we can't settle, we'll just have them plea, and then we all know what it's like when you plea. I'm not saying I'm guilty of the big crime, but I'll take the small crime.
Take the lesser charge, yeah.
Right, that's what they do. But either way, you going to jail for something. You're filling the jail cells that they're building, and they're putting money in.
Now, I'm be a devil's advocate to that.
Go ahead.
Because truth of the matter is, a lot of people behind the wall that were innocent or found a discrepancy in their case, have actually released themselves without actually attorney present
Right.
by going through law libraries and representing themselves.
Right. But once again, Mike, it's all a part of the machine because guess what? While you go in, you were innocent. So go to jail. We're gonna lock you up anyways. You're gonna process through. You're gonna be in jail.
You're still in the system. You're still part of the.
Right.
Right.
You're still a placeholder here, which means this prison system gets money because you're in a cell. So while you're in jail, go ahead and do your due diligence for free. Learn the law, look up whatever you got to do, and then go through arbitration again to get yourself free. We don't care. That's cool. You can do that.
I see what I'm trying to get at.
But it's a body for a body. So
us knowing the law prior to us even having encounters with law officials of any sort. Us
You
just
gotta
knowing
get
at
to
least
that
a
point
base.
first, though. But
Right.
most people don't think about this shit until something happens. Then you're forced to have to find a way to free yourself.
right, but that's what I'm saying though,
As
Mike.
long as you're free,
Right.
you're not worried about it.
But that's what I'm saying. The mindset is pushed that hey, if you do something wrong, you go to jail. If you find a way to get yourself out of jail and hey man, we wrongfully accused you or convicted you or whatever, and you come out, then they have no problem saying, hey, this individual was wrongfully accused. Now they're awarded damages and they can go live a free life. They don't care about that. They don't mind, Mike, because it's almost like remember in the military when you had a big push for they were forcing motherfuckers to go and do recruitment, but at the same token they was also forcing motherfuckers out. It's because they wanted people in the military, but they wanted you to come in, get trained up, and then leave because they couldn't afford to pay for retirements and shit down the line. So they wanted to get you in and then get you out. Same thing with the jail. We don't care if you're innocent or guilty. If you can prove yourself innocent in the end, go ahead and leave because guess what? We got another motherfucker coming in to fill your spot. We just want people in the jail. It's not about justice. It ain't. It's about playing the game. That's the real tragedy of this whole justice system. That people are perceived innocent or guilty because they got off or they're in jail.
I totally agree
that don't mean shit.
That it is a game, right? But it also is a responsibility of the person to take the rule book out of the box once you open the game and understand it, because you're going to fall victim to a person that actually read it. Period.
No, but I understand.
Right.
No, I understand what you're saying though. But when you say that, right? But when you say that, Mike, you're saying it as this.
I guess that's easy for somebody to just pick up a book. The reason why there's poverty in the first place is because people don't read.
Right.
They want shit handed to them. They want instant
gratification,
instant knowledge, whatever.
Right.
Whatever you can give them, just show it to me. They're not willing to take that time to sit there and dig through those books to find out the laws, to know what they can and cannot do, in order to keep themselves from being locked up for a crime they didn't do. You're thinking you're an outlier because you are willing to do that. There's very few people who are willing to look and read through a book.
Right.
The masses are what? If it's on their phone, they'll fucking see it.
Right. But I think everybody needs to spend a day involuntarily in jail. Because once that door closed, right then you're going to realize I need to make sure that I'm on my P's and Q's because I'm actually at the mercy of a bunch of people that basically know something that I don't, yet they're actually calling me out on it. And I have no way of attacking it.
Right, but that's what I'm saying though. You're looking at it from the truth and justice side.
Right.
I'm looking at it from the business side, which is I don't give a damn if you did it or not. Until you can prove that you didn't do it, you're gonna sit here. And while you're sitting here, I have to feed you, I have to clothe you, I have to have something for you to do.
Restitution.
I'm getting paid for you to be here. So I don't care if I find out tomorrow that you're ready to go, bye. I'll throw a party for you and let you leave. Because guess what? There's 10 niggas waiting to come in to fill that spot. That's what jails are built so you can fill them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, then we also have to commit crimes to fill those.
Right. In jail. Right. In jail, there's real people that would really done it. But that's truth be told, that's probably 20% of the entire population of the prison actually did some shit.
But you're talking about violent crimes.
Violent crimes, but
period.
There are crimes that really shouldn't be crimes.
Right.
Right.
But you need to figure out a way to get somebody in here though.
Wait a minute there, Vaughn.
Well, I'm talking.
What are we talking about?
It's a crime because it's on the books. But if you let's just talk about weed, for example.
Right.
There is hundreds of I don't know the numbers. I'm not even going to act like I do. But I'm sure there's a lot of fucking people locked up on weed charges. Which
many
now would, if they were on the streets now, would not be because it's not a crime.
Right, but that's the point though. It doesn't matter. Weed was just what they put they put the pin in weed. Like, okay, marijuana, you going to go to jail. That's just what they put the pin in. But it could have been alcohol, could have been anything else. You know, they just needed to put people in prison, and it just happened to be black and brown people. It don't matter. It doesn't matter who's in prison. They just want people in prison. And if you could put some brown people in prison, which can help, quote unquote, help out and make a safer society, let's do it. We'll make the public think black and brown people commit more crimes than anyone else. So we'll put them in prison. Now I know you're gonna throw me with the whole, there's technically more white people in prison than black. Right. That's because there's more. That's just because there's more people.
Wait, hold on.
I'm just saying, Mike. Let me finish my point.
But what you
that's
said
just
was
because
the
there's
same
more.
thing he said.
That's just because there's more people that
You
are
didn't say
white.
it, but
that's why they're in there.
No. There's way more black and brown people in prison than any other.
Right. A bigger percentage of us. Right.
Hold on. Let's not gloss over this. Why would you just assume that I would just stereotypically say that there's more white people in jail?
History
This is
tells
based
me.
off your
History tells me that.
your thoughts on what you said about
Your
white people being shot more
Sotomayor.
than black people.
That's
your Sotomayor,
right, but that's facts
philosophy.
though. But in
Tommy
prison,
Sotomayor philosophy.
Well,
That's what it's called.
he is.
oh, is this what we doing?
Nah, that's not what we're gonna do. Let's not get sidetracked. Let's
sidetrack.
They don't care. They just want people in seats. That's it. It's almost like church. I don't care if you've been to church. You'll see the pastors, the deacons. They're all, and I'm not talking bad about church. I'm just speaking what I've observed.
Yeah.
They want bodies in seats. Because
Right.
the more bodies in seats, the more people you have to give offerings,
Yeah, the more offerings
to
you
give
get.
to give tithes and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm gonna sit here, I'll listen to your problems, and I'll tell you how you can get over these problems. But in reality, it's like hospitals. I'm not here to really cure you. I'm just here to have you deal with some shit.
Right.
But have you keep coming back.
And that's due to the fact that we allow prisons to be privatized.
Right.
Right. So it's weird.
But why? But think about why
But
they
is
would
it-
do that though, Mike. Because hysteria says, "Oh, these black people are crazy out here. That they're killers. These brown people are killers. These poor white folks are killers. We got to get rid of them out of our society." So here comes the warden, like, "Well, I got a place for them. You know, you can give them to me,
Right.
and then give them to me
And
and,
then
throw them away."
I'll let those same people take care of themselves. I mean,
Right. And if they get out because they can prove that they didn't do
No,
some
I'm
shit,
not talking
then
about
cool.
taking care of themselves. I'm talking about
Take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Eliminate themselves.
Right.
And that doesn't take a hand of a justice system or somebody outside of that community. That takes the people in the community that choose not to, like you said, open a book and understand where they're at and why they're there. We can't just glaze over the fact that we're kind of like in a way, you're talking about like a Mr. Smith Matrix type situation.
Right.
We're forced into something that we had no idea. It's like, let's be real, man. At one point in time, a lot of places that are occupied by black people were very good looking, as in I mean, not just good looking. I mean, as in
Well-kept
crime.
and
Right.
Before, and
Gentrification.
then they moved out.
Right.
Then the projects
Businesses
came up,
moved out and shit too,
and then,
yeah.
then the business come back in, and now it's too expensive for them to
Right.
live there. Yeah.
But then when they moved out, right, then that means that it was just us there.
Right.
Okay. Are y'all do I need to finish this thought?
I hear what you're saying. That's a
Right.
That's a great take on that, Mike.
The responsibility has to fall with us.
Right,
So
but
I'm talking about that in law, the way we're being
I
treated
understand.
with judges,
I understand.
jurors. All this shit is kind of like our doing. The fact that we're not paying attention to it. So I'm not on my Uncle Ruckus shit. All I'm trying to say is
Why
that
would you assume that I wasn't even thinking that?
because you disagree with the whole, there's more white people in prison. I don't apply that to everything. I use numbers, okay? There's numbers.
No, I get it. I get it. But I think when we get into it about that stuff is because we are thinking it's actually because of justice and shit like that, or wrongfully accusing and stuff like that.
Right.
Where it's really about numbers.
Right, because
It's really about numbers and who do
Right.
you allow
I'm
to
not-
go to prison.
I'm not
versus who you don't
I'm
want
not
to go to
pushing away
prison.
the fact that there is an industrialized prison complex that
Right,
basically
right.
profits off
Yeah,
the
off
heart.
of labor, prison labor.
Right. I'm not taking that away. What I'm saying is we ourselves are putting ourselves in prison. Now you're right.
Yes, we are.
Well,
We are because we have. If you go based off of free will, we have the right to choose to do some shit or not. But there are cases where you are placed in a situation where you may need to do some shit to survive.
Right. But what's survival to you?
A place to live and food, and the basic necessities. Maslow's hierarchy.
Right. But contemplate this for a second, Mike.
Yo, I don't like the way you even said that.
Think about this for a second. What's the most when you think about racism in America?
Right.
What's the vision that you get?
Racism in America?
Vaughn, let me ask Vaughn. Vaughn, when you think about check this out, stay with me. When you think about racism in America, what's the vision that you get?
I see the civil rights movement.
No, I mean, but like if it had to be personified and it had to look a certain way, racism in America, what does it look
You're
like?
talking about slack-jawed white men with hoods on and Oshkosh B'gosh.
Okay, but
overalls.
White over black, I guess.
Right. But we'll get down to the very basics of this. White men. That's what we think about when we think about racism in America.
Right.
When you think about threats in America, most people think about minority men, right? So think about that. White men, racism in America, threats in America, black men, Hispanic men, maybe even Native American men. I don't know, brown. If you brown,
Right.
you going down. Arab men. Think about when we think about Muslims, we don't think about Muslim women, we think about Muslim men. So it all starts with men. And I say that to say this. In these communities that you say, hey, we had a part in this. One thing that we're missing in the white neighborhood, where in the racist white neighborhood, one thing that's ever present is white men. In the black neighborhood and brown neighborhood, where there's a lot of crime, there's a lot of broken homes and shit like that, one thing that's missing is what? The black and brown men, right? Because they're in prison. So they are playing the game, Mike. So what I'm telling you is this. We can say what we want about, hey, man, you got your own choice and this and that. But there's still a way of life that needs to be taught and needs to be passed down. And regardless of what somebody says, fathers or father figures are very important. Because here's the deal. Those black and brown women who are raising these children, these fatherless boys and women and girls, these black and brown women, they weren't given loans, they weren't given opportunities, they were given menial jobs. So guess what? You will be a maid, you will be a housekeeper, you will be a librarian, you will be a secretary until the day you die. We know that's not enough money for you to ever change the status that you're living in right now. You're never gonna grow. You're never gonna grow to be a CEO of the secretaries of your region. That's not gonna happen. So you take away their men, you give them menial jobs, you keep that cycle alive, because when these men start lashing out saying, hey, I need to make my own way in this world, what do? All they know is to take what you don't have to take. Okay. The world is telling you this is life. What you have ain't real life. So if you want it, you got to take some shit, which leads them down to the path of crime, which puts them in jail.
Which you know what?
It doesn't lead them down the path of education. White men lead young white men down the path of education and responsibility and CEOs and shit like that. That's the way life is, Mike. Whether you want to agree to it or not, that's the path of America. Right. That's real shit.
Okay. I gotta disagree with you to some degree.
You can disagree, but it's real shit.
All the reason I say that is at one point in time, my first thoughts, or the first place I ever lived at, period, was a studio home. Like, it literally had just 4 walls. The bathroom was not separated by the kitchen or living room. And the 4th wall was missing, meaning as in we were exposed to elements of rain, cold weather, hot weather, right? And only thing that was there was a big plastic sheet.
Okay, I'm with you.
6 people.
I'm with you still.
In this place.
I'm still with you.
Once again, there's a stove, a toilet with no divider from you couldn't.
I'm with you with all that.
It is a literal room missing the 4th wall.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm still with you. I'm waiting for the point.
I say that to say, if I got out of that, a motherfucker.
But not everybody.
Time out. Hold on. Time out real quick.
You can't have a blanket,
Mike.
Like
no.
that.
But here's my question.
Not everybody has the same.
In that 3-wall room, tell me the occupants.
Mom, dad.
Okay, let's stop right there. That was his
Mike.
Point. Exactly my point, Mike.
No,
exactly my point.
So if you just, let's just say if you just had your mom, right? and no
And then
other
you
male
kids.
influence
Right.
at all. Would the streets been more tempting to you? Do you think?
No.
Was your dad a vital role in keeping you away from certain shit?
I love my father to death. And he's going to be hearing this one day. But I'm going to be real, though. Okay, so in my situation, my dad was light-skinned and tall. Considered good-looking. I was told to have a very large head for my body, dark, and very bad-looking, right?
Okay.
He was extremely athletic, right?
Uh-huh.
State newspaper. You're talking to your son that's basically 6 inches shorter than you were, looking at. So it was literally, to some degree, it was more like I used to pray, or not pray, or at least be like, damn, I wish I didn't have a dad. That's my thoughts. The only reason I thought that was due to the fact that I'm around somebody that's not seeing me in the image in which he thinks he should.
Okay.
So rather than me just having like just a mom patting me on the back, I have a mom patting me on the back, but then a dude that I'm supposed to be looking up to looking down upon me.
Right, but he's still there looking at you though.
Right? What?
But he's still there looking at you though, right?
Yeah.
What is a father for a young kid? What does a father symbolize? Protection, leadership. Even I'm not saying it's legit, but to a young child,
The fourth wall had a plastic sheet.
right. But daddy was there though, right? As long as daddy's there, we're okay. That's protection. As long as daddy's there, we're okay.
Okay,
Because
to
if
some
daddy's
degree,
gone,
I agree,
if
I agree,
daddy's gone
I agree.
and other men are
I
in and
agree.
out of that house,
I agree.
What's going on then?
What I'm saying.
What's that teaching
okay.
you?
So you had a stable home, even though it wasn't the greatest.
Right.
Of
What do you mean
stable as far as your parents were a strong force as far as in your life.
No.
They were strong influence. You said it. Your mom nurtured you. Your father
Or did your dad
was,
just live there and didn't really fuck with you? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
but he was there though. That's what I'm saying. He was there, man.
Right. Okay. Let me
He was
get
at
this.
home.
Let me
I
break
just
it right.
know my
What I'm
mom
saying is-
worked 2 jobs and I did not see her except for like an hour a day until the weekend.
Now, did you fall
Only
into the
reason I didn't
streets?
fall to the streets is because my brother did. And I saw him. I saw him getting shot. I saw him going to jail.
Right, and
that was my wake up
okay,
call.
right there, right there. That is perfect.
That's
Absolutely.
50-50.
Right. Wait,
50%.
hold on. What I'm saying is, with my dad, he was doing his own thing, dealing with depression as a black man, even conditioned to think like, this is how it is due to the fact that I'm a black man and nobody's going to give me a chance. So every situation I approach is going to be on a, I'm going to basically attack this in an aggressive way, due to the fact that I already know that my time wherever I'm working at is limited if a white man's in position, right? So what I'm saying is he's already walking around with this chip on his shoulder. I myself, with same thing as Vaughn, had a brother that was older, that was homeless and all that. So I was able to see him going through things that I was like, oh, no, I ain't trying to be, wearing the same drawers or flipping them inside out and pretending like it's two different pair. It was me looking out the outside, and my brother paid for. I mean, he had his own life, but in a way, in my world, he paid for it for me.
Okay.
Where I was able to look at him, and even my dad, it was just more like he's stressed out all the time. This man is not happy, honestly. So whatever he's doing, I'm gonna try to basically zigzag around his own actions so I don't fall in the same place.
Cool.
What I'm saying
Go
is,
ahead.
a father is something that is just a label. It really is, and that's the problem. That's the problem with
I'm not
the
disagreeing
black
with that.
community,
You
because
need a
I'm not-
male influence in your life.
Right.
doesn't have to be a father or
No,
what
it does.
you-
I said male influence.
right.
So it
So
don't
that's
have to
what
be
I'm
a
saying.
father.
It don't have to be a
But it has to
dad.
be a positive male influence
Right.
in your life
Right.
on a regular basis.
A pimp used to pick me up on a daily basis to help me check his hole.
That's cool.
Gave
But that
me
pimp
the
knew you
best
had a
of- I
father.
swear,
though.
I swear, I'm not even.
But that pimp knew you
Gave
had a
me-
father. If that pimp didn't think you had a father, he would have probably moved in.
No, it wasn't like that though. What I'm trying to get at is, he just saw me. You're right, if he did, but he saw me as a person that didn't. Hey man, you over here like looking bummy, and I just heard you ask for $1 to get something to eat. Yo, come on a ride, and I'm gonna put you down. So it was literally a dude that just took a liking to me as a father figure,
Cool.
and gave me advice.
I'm with you.
The problem is with the black community, it's almost like I'm not his father, because there's many black men in the community that could help. But the fact is, I don't share the same last name as you. I don't need to be feeding you. So I'm not going to take on the responsibility, but we got to remember it takes a village to raise a child. You got to remember we are all a product of our
It
environment.
takes a village to raise a child unless you live in the castle.
What
Then you don't need
the
no damn
fuck?
village. You don't
Alright.
need a village, Mike.
But we gonna run this back and you gonna feel me.
No,
right?
I'm not, Mike. Because you're still missing the point. Because man, I said, did your brother go to prison?
Oh, we've been in jail a few times.
Okay, and his brother went to prison, so that's 2 households, 2 young men apiece, one with a father, one without. But guess what? The statistics were the same. One made it, one went to prison. Now, that's not because your brother went crazy and his brother went crazy, right? That's because of the environment that they were in led them to that life, right?
Right.
That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm saying. When you grew up, did you guys have Sunday dinner and your father taught you about, hey, Mike, when you get older, I want you to take over the business. I want you to go to this college. I want you to do this. Did he say that? Did any of that ever come up?
No.
Okay, did it ever come up with? Well,
I never
the
saw it,
father
so.
was not there. So I wonder why it didn't happen. All I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is this. I'm just saying this. Even at the level of like athletes, one thing that you see a lot is like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Brett Favre, all these motherfuckers, right? One thing that you see in their life still is their fathers. How many pro black athletes do you see fathers? Hardly any of them.
Right.
Hardly any of them.
They got their moms with them though.
Right, they all got mom, grandma, auntie,
Who
whatever,
believes
but
that she's
they don't
dating
have
him
fathers.
without
Do
the sex part
But do you
involved?
think that these black men just decided, like, you know what, fuck it, we just don't become fathers. We just, fuck it, we have kids enrolled. That's just in our nature.
Right.
Is that what black men think?
No, I think.
Well, I mean, it is perpetrated a lot now.
I think it's what we actually value in the black community, which is, I think a lot of it has to do with Christianity has been mixed with materialism, especially in the black community. So it means kind of like the Jesus piece or the iced out cross. What you just did was you mixed the fact that
But
the more
Christianity though has been like that. Even Christian, even in America, you have gospel, you have Christian. They're both the same. They're both Christian, but gospel is considered black, Christian is considered white. The white Christians, it's always family unit. The black Christians is usually mama, grandma, auntie dragging the young kids to school or to church
Right,
until they get a
Sunday
certain
school.
until they get a certain age. Because guess what? You have
I
a
hate them
pastor,
days.
you have deacons there.
Because-
They
right.
become father figures
because
to you,
we
but they're not
condition-
your parents.
We condition black women to believe that it takes a man to raise your son. It don't. It just like, look, we can try to.
I don't even know if we did that. Well, speaking from my own experience, my mom didn't rely on no dude because the only person that was there was my uncle. So it really wasn't. She never had boyfriends or anything around us to try and fill that role. She worked and she provided for us.
Right.
And we made it on our own.
But what I'm saying is, when we give that background, like, oh, you ain't got a father, you're giving this person the fucking edge to be like, hey, man, I'm doing this crazy shit because I ain't got a pops. You
No,
read
Mike, I'm just saying
you
that-
read the statistics.
That's just the formula
What
of
I'm
shit
saying,
happening.
right,
That's the
right.
formula.
So what I'm saying is, I think we should be trying to create an arena where you can't just snake out of some shit.
I'm not saying that anyone should. I'm saying that you know as well as we all know that there was a concerted effort to get rid of black males in the home, outside of the home, brown males in the home, outside of the home. There was a concerted effort to do that shit.
Right.
That's part of why the country is where it is right now.
But does it not boil down to the choice of that black male to make his own decisions?
Okay, here's the deal. We all go to work at lunch, on our lunch break. Because you remember that I used to talk to some of the old heads in our shop, right? At Luke, right? Back in the day, back in the 80s. And these motherfuckers would tell me blatantly, like, look, man, at lunch, back there behind tool room, they be out there smoking weed.
Yeah, they used to be on the flight line and die smoking.
Right. Weed. You know, in the
Haters,
military.
In the 80s.
In the 80s, doing that
Oh,
shit,
right,
right?
right.
So guess what? Just say that's we all in the 80s. So we all back there probably smoking weed or something. You know, that's what we do on our break. We smoke weed, right? Just like motherfuckers smoke cigarettes nowadays. What if all of a sudden they say, hey, let's go around and let's start checking all these spots, all these places and see who's smoking weed. And then they see me, you, Von, Tarkman, Owen, all, you know, a whole mixed breed. But they say, let's round up these motherfuckers and let's lead them motherfuckers. Then what happened? They just took out black people versus white people. for the agenda.
Right.
Right? So now your family is without a black father. My family is. His family is. But the white families, they have a black father there. Or they have a white father there, right? So they move on. They go on. They maintain. Maybe they slap them on the wrist and say, hey, don't do that shit. So the white fathers teach their children, don't do this shit because it's illegal. And they locking up motherfuckers, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see how they're purposely breaking up these family units?
I can see.
We were doing all the shit right.
I can see,
but we still got caught up.
I'm
in
just saying, I can see what you're saying could be an effort, and it could be.
No, I'm saying that it was legitimately an effort.
It could be a theorized, but
it's legitimate.
I've never seen a law passed that actually determined a certain thing applied to only one race. That's never happened. I've never seen. There's nothing ever written into law saying that if you're
Does
black,
it have to be written
It's
in?
not going to be. I can believe that there's stuff that's written and geared towards a certain group, without being blatant black and white.
You can't take that away. The fact that loitering came around during slavery, meaning as a bunch of black people got freed, they were trying to put them back in prison. So they were like, wait a minute, these people have no jobs or anything. So if we create loitering, we can then pick up black people.
How's it not different? What did you just say before that though?
What I'm saying is that's never been written in
It's
law.
not written up,
It's
but
like
it's implied.
And it happens. It still happens.
Right.
It's implied without being
But
black
if
and
you
white.
took that to court and say, well, it's implied.
Right. That's the
Is it
game.
written?
That's the game, Mike. You have to prove. You have to
prove
prove that
your
we
innocence.
did this. But while you try to prove it, keep your ass in jail. Because guess what?
You
We
are
get paid.
guilty before-
We get paid for you. We get paid for the
jump.
tenants.
Right.
I'm full. State, government, whatever. I'm full. So keep paying us.
Right. What I'm saying
We're
is
losing people. These motherfuckers are dying or getting out.
I
We
am
need to fill
well
it back up again.
aware that there have been laws that could seem like it was actually, I can't say it was. I don't know for a fact. I'm not in a person's brain, and it doesn't
Okay.
actually specify color in the law.
Okay, we'll play
No,
that.
it doesn't,
We'll
but
play
it-
that game.
It's used more towards a certain group. It's maybe officers decide to, I'm gonna arrest this group for this crime.
I like, so if at one time it's saying, like the judge got on stage like, I'm outlawing all Magnum condoms. What is that telling you right then and there? If I'm outlawing all Magnum, what is that telling you?
It's implying that big meat men will have troubles, right? They're going to jail.
That's where we stopping at? Who's already implied to have big meats?
What?
Pause.
What? Okay, keep going with this. I
it's black.
I can see where you're coming from.
Even though I'm not being racist with it, I didn't even think about it when I said
You're
it.
just implying it without implying. Is that what you're trying to say?
Is it the truth though? If you don't know me personally, and I can tell you exactly what my reason for so what I'm saying is, because it's not written down like that, we have to play accordingly. Because truth of the matter is, the same people making these laws are the same people we chose not to vote into office. Like, so it's like,
Mike, I understand. I get that.
right. So what I'm saying, at the end of the day, the condition in which we're talking about, black people are in, it has like 90% to do with
You're
black
right, Mike.
people.
You're right. Here, let me throw this one to you too. Let me throw this one to you. Well, how come there were so many slaves, man? Like, what happened? Why were there slaves? Why did black people? Why were we slaves? I don't get that at all, right? I don't want to pick up after nobody. I don't pick cotton. I don't want to do that shit, right? Why were there slaves? Why? I'm just asking.
Well,
you that
which
question.
color ones? Are you talking about
Black.
the brown,
The black
brown,
ones.
or
The
the
black
white?
ones.
Because the
Let's
white,
talk
because
about
every
black.
race on the planet has been a slave.
Okay, let's talk about black slaves in America.
Okay.
Why were there black slaves in America? I'm just curious.
Right, because we couldn't match the heinousness of the people that came over from basically a third world country that tried to prop themselves up as like royalty.
No,
that had some of the nastiest diseases.
The reason why I'm
was
saying
stuck
this,
in the dark ages, came over here, and we could not match the fact that these people were willing to rape, kill, and pillage everything. When actually we
sick
used
with
honor.
kind of diseases and shit.
We could not get venereal diseases. That didn't actually happen until we start actually having sex with or being raped by white slave masters. We were actually could not.
Mike, you're delving very deep. All I'm just asking
Because you asked me why
all I'm
is it
asking
slave?
is why were there black slaves?
I just told you we couldn't match the heinousness of a person.
How come
basically.
the black slaves didn't say, "Hey man, this ain't right. Let's vote motherfuckers into office that is gonna help us out"? Why didn't they do that?
What?
Why didn't black slaves do that? Why didn't they just all get together and say, "Man,
Because
fuck
they
this"?
didn't have the right to. and the
Okay, they didn't
system
have a right. So there was no laws considering black or white, right? But you just gave me an example of laws outlawing black folks from voting and shit, right?
Yeah.
So do you see what I'm saying? It started with laws
Because they
against
right.
us.
But it was considered,
That's what I'm trying to tell
right,
you.
but I'm telling you, it was considered property. It wasn't because of their skin color.
No, exactly because of their skin color, they were considered property.
Yeah, exactly.
But the first person to ever fight to keep their slaves in the Supreme Court was a black guy in America. Oh, now it's color. though.
No. What I'm telling
That
you,
was-
what I'm
I
telling
just
you
told
is there's
you.
steps where this shit happens. There's steps.
Right.
And it's getting better. More people are understanding
And so I-
voting and what
Right.
the importance.
All
That's what
I'm
I'm trying to tell you. But I'm talking about back in the 80s and the 70s and 60s when these niggas was getting arrested for weed and shit like that and going to jail for 30 years.
I'm not saying, because think about it. The best weed comes from brown countries. Best heroin comes from brown countries. And it's clear to see that once white people get a foothold on it, then they actually make it legal. That means a prohibition. That means weed. That means even heroin to this day. They wait to get a hold on the shit, and whoever's there left is getting arrested, and then a pharmaceutical company comes
take it
in
and make it.
and synthetically makes it and controls it. I'm not saying that that's not actually control towards brown. That's clearly about brown people. I'm not saying those laws weren't put there and implying those things. We can't prove those things. So why actually ponder on those things when you can't prove them? What we need to be focused on is the behavior of a person or the people when they interpret the law, right? So if I'm a black man selling heroin and they release this law saying it's illegal to sell it, then I stop selling the shit.
But do you realize, basically, we're not getting anywhere because what you're saying is true, and what you're saying is a valid way to
Right.
combat what he's saying. What he's saying happens. There's shit that's geared towards black people,
Right.
Mexicans, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That's law may be, it's on the books for everybody, but it's only being targeted towards a certain group. That should happen.
You can't
So,
knock that. That's just fact.
Your point of learning the law is a valid point, which we should do, but it's not happening because the society's so dumbed down and too fucking lazy to do the shit for themselves until they need it.
Right, but you both have the ability and the know-how to do this.
Right, and that's what
Everybody
we're doing.
does.
That's what we're doing.
Right. So I don't care even with this show. Outside of this show, next time you see a young brother, don't be looking at him like, oh, he don't say the same name as my son. The last name, that is your son.
Like exactly, we
period.
all should take that role and be like, hey,
It's for everybody. But guess what else? Guess what else? How we also perpetuate the better society for black people is being in families and raising your own children so we can teach them how to do it. Maybe get some shit for yourself, train your kids so they can follow in your footsteps. And then, like you said, each one teach one. You know better, you do better. That shit is all legit, Mike. That's real ways of life. What I'm telling you is this. The white people were doing this shit back in the day, but they eliminated the competition by locking us up. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. They put in the cheat code against us.
Right. They were doing that back in the day.
Just like this. If I
Where
drank
do you
drank
think
whiskey,
they got
hold
the
on.
idea,
If
though?
I drank whiskey my entire life, and then one day you told me, say, hey man, drinking that whiskey's gonna fuck with your liver, and I said, man, you know what? Now that I know, I'm gonna stop drinking whiskey. I don't have a healthy liver
Right.
because I've already done years of damage to that shit, right? But I can tell the next man, hey, don't touch that shit because I didn't. It fucked me up.
Right.
That right there is the role of the nowadays black man, to let people know. I'm not saying fear the white man. I'm not saying the white man is devil. I'm not saying white man is against you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying get your own shit. Make your society better. Learn, read, grow, vote, all that. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Because we didn't have a chance to do that shit back in the day. And then when we did have a chance, we were too busy being locked up to know better. That's what I'm saying. Because here's the deal. Here's my last point on this, Mike.
We gotta put a pin in this.
We will, but here's my last point. If you grow up poor, that's all you know, right? And then you think after a while, when you're growing up poor, you think, fuck, I'm just
you're
meant to be
destined
poor.
be poor for the rest
Right.
of your fucking life.
Just like if you grew up rich, you don't sit there and say, yo, I didn't earn none of this shit. I shouldn't have it.
Right.
You say, no, this is the way I live. I'm rich.
You expect
That's
to
why
live
you-
that way.
right, that's why you
expect
do-
to have money. You
Exactly
expect
right.
to have everything.
I'm not-
Right, that's
yeah.
why you do stupid shit and you worry about dumb shit like cutting off your dick, like what was Jaden Smith did, and then all the dumb shit that
Right.
Dwayne Wade's son is doing. It's his choice to do whatever the fuck he wants. I don't give a fuck. But I'm just saying, niggas don't be thinking about shit like that because we're just trying to worry about living. You know? But when you're rich, those are like first world problems. That's why you say first world problems, thinking about shit like that. You have so many choices and so many freedoms that you can now decide what the fuck you want to be.
Right.
But when you living in a shack with no wall, you ain't worried about, well, Dad, I want to grow up. I think I'm a female. No, you don't think that shit. You're just trying to fucking survive, Mike. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
You got to elevate and get to a certain level where you can think elevated
And I no
thoughts.
longer use excuses from where I came
For
from.
you, there's no more excuses.
You're right.
Because you know better.
Okay. We're gonna put a pin in this. I want to
Okay,
talk about
we
the
gonna
dunk
have to.
contest, but I just want to, before we get to it at another
Whenever.
fuck session, right?
Whenever, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right there. My 6th grade gym attire was church shoes, quarter socks,
Mm-hmm.
boxers with dick hole in them with no button, and a collared shirt. I'm gonna leave it right there.
I don't know the point you
But
made,
that's fine though. I get his point, but
I don't.
Not everybody. Do you think that everybody thinks the same? Everybody has the same thought process. Everybody looks at stuff and views the world the same.
No. What I'm saying is
Exactly, because you, like I said, you're an outlier.
Right.
The same person who grew up in your same neighborhood, same age, same situation, may turn around and go the other way.
Right.
Me and my brother, for example, single mom, she worked 2 jobs, we barely saw her. Which means we were outside the house when she was at work at night, fucking around doing dumb shit. Only thing that stopped me from getting in trouble is seeing him get shot and go to jail. Otherwise, I'd have been doing the same shit because that's what I thought what you were supposed to do.
because you were paying attention. So I guess the lesson of this is
No,
pay
it's
attention.
not. It's not. The lesson is it's not equal, Mike. If
Everybody
I tell
takes different paths
Right. If
in
I
life.
tell 2 motherfuckers to run 100 yards, I say I'm gonna see who can run 100 yards the fastest, and I tell this motherfucker you running downhill, and this motherfucker you running uphill. Who you think's gonna win the race?
The downhill mile.
Right. That's all I'm saying. We had to run uphill for so long. Like, and regardless what you think about your father, regardless what you think, he was there. And guess what? Whether you realize it or not, he motivated you to do better. Because you
No, I just said that. I used him as
okay, but
motivation.
he was there. If he wasn't there, who knows what the fuck
But
would have
even
happened.
he-
Maybe I wouldn't know you if he was never there, Mike. That's all I'm trying to say. It's already natural selection. Natural selection will already fuck up
totally
certain
understand
people.
you. There's a
Some
big
people-
influence where that is there.
Right. Some
You're
people
right.
get in trouble regardless. Natural selection will already there. It doesn't need help.
Right, but
that's what I'm saying.
Right, and what I'm getting at is when I learned about Pops, I basically told myself like, this was John before he was my father. I had to take that into account.
Right.
And a lot of black children need to do that. Like, I'm not saying every dad that
motherfucker
left
ain't
is
there.
a horrible person, but I'm saying is realize that he was a person or she was a person before you put that label on them to give them all these fucking shit they're supposed to do. Kind
That's
of like,
why I don't expect shit. I never. You get to a point when you become aware of they are who they are.
as
There
a
is
person.
nothing you can do about who that person is and how they
So
are.
if you continue to be using fucking Tyler Perry movies and Bill Cosby shows as a backdrop to where a black healthy couple looks like, we're going to forever be fucked up because every person in your life is going to fail you based on the expectations you apply to them, based on the label you put on them, rather than this is a person prior to them becoming
Mike, I
a
don't even
label.
know if you realize what the hell you just did.
We're putting the pin in this. I want to talk about the dunk contest.
All right, let's go ahead.
Yeah,
All right,
let's go
okay,
ahead.
okay,
You
okay.
don't realize what the hell you just did. Go ahead. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about the dunk contest. What's up?
I don't like the smugness after we did.
I'm just, I'm just.
All right, but I may have made a mistake, but I was talking from the heart when I said
No,
that.
you're right. You're right. We'll put a pin in it.
All right, word. Now, what was your situation? Is it because the light-skinned brother didn't win?
Aaron Gordon.
Is that what it is? Is that the hate?
No, I just felt it could have gone different.
It should have
Should've
gone
gone
different.
Yeah. If you commit a crime and the jury is composed of your peers and all that, but there's one motherfucker who is friends with the prosecutor. Is that fair? So by Dwayne Wade being a judge and Jones Jr. being a contestant, how the fuck is that? How can you be objective when you
right.
score?
And you're talking about
something?
the last dunk he got
Just
9s
period.
and then
Yeah, the
110.
Just period. How can you be objective? And how the fuck is Chadwick Boseman judging a dunk
Right.
contest
Right. Why is he there?
when he can't dunk?
Yeah.
Was Common there?
Common was
Common
there
shouldn't
too.
even be a damn judge either.
Exactly. He can't dunk either.
Right.
And,
Right.
yeah, and this music don't have click clacks in it. All that heart and lovey shit. Like, nah, man, I'm trying to hit it.
But either way, like now here's the deal. This is the mistake that the NBA made when they brought in Chadwick Boseman, when they brought in Common, when they brought in these Dwayne Wade. The mistake they made is this. We get it, the All-Star game is a celebration for the fans and celebrities and shit like that. We understand that shit. But when you have something, real talk, the dunk contest is not important. Why? Because Derrick Jones Jr., I know
It's
Aaron
important
Gordon.
to those guys because that probably be the only thing they ever win in their fucking life.
Exactly. Unless they,
Word up.
if Miami goes to the finals, you ain't gonna see Derrick Jones Jr. You may
He
see
won't
him
even play.
a few. When he's the 20. What do they call the 20-20 guy? When you either up or down 20, that's when he comes in. Aaron Gordon is he's a solid player, but nobody really knows about him because Orlando's not
And they're a bad
great team, right? So nobody really knows about him. But if Aaron Gordon, if there was a trade rumor and the Spurs got Aaron Gordon, in my opinion, would be an all-star. If he went to the Nuggets, he'd be an all-star. If he went to my Lakers, he'd be an all-star because, first of all, more motherfuckers would know him and he'd be contributing to a winning team. And he's decent, But
Right.
think about this. If I ask you this question, name dunk contest champions. You gonna name what? Blake Griffin,
Dominique Wilkins.
Michael
Clyde
Jordan,
Drexler.
Kobe, Clyde,
Vince Carter.
Nate Robinson, Vince Carter,
Quentin Richardson.
Q Richardson won it, Brent Barry won it,
D.
Dwight
Brown.
Howard won it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of motherfuckers in there that you probably
Harold
forgot
Miner
about.
won it.
Yeah, Harold. Right,
Baby
won it?
Jordan?
He did, yeah. But Baby Jordan, Harold Miner kind
He
of,
won it twice.
he
he did,
came up
yeah,
from
yeah.
that baby. Because he went to USC and people were like, oh, he's Baby Jordan, so he's gonna be nice. But
Ruined that man's career.
yeah, he wasn't nowhere near
Right.
shit. He wasn't nowhere near Michael Jordan's son. Well, I don't want to say that, but anyways, the dunk contest champions. There's a whole lot of them that you have no clue who the fuck these guys are. So the dunk contest needs validity. It needs stars to be in there, so you'll remember these motherfuckers when they win. You remember back when the dunk contest had a lot of really good players in it?
Whoa, wait. But Aaron Gordon's last year dunk, to this day, is probably one of the illest I've ever seen.
No
Over
doubt.
the mascot.
No doubt.
That's ridiculous.
No doubt.
And he lost that one.
And I'm not. Yeah, he did to Zach LaVine. And I'm not
Wait,
saying
he lost that?
He lost,
Yeah,
he lost
the
twice.
shit. Yeah. He
That's-
yeah,
yeah,
he
twice.
been in, he's been in it
Are
3
y'all
times.
sure about
and
that? He
lost.
had to win one
No, he
against Zach
lost.
LaVine.
He lost. He went. That was when he went under his fucking leg.
Yeah, he basically sat
And
down
dunk-
over
yeah.
the head of the man.
And Zach LaVine kept doing the
Zach
same
LaVine,
dunk.
yes, and
Jones
Zach LaVine
Jr. did
it.
the same fucking dunk.
Left-handed.
Yeah.
Jones Jr. did the same dunk between the legs, dunk with the left hand.
Yep.
Except when he jumped from the free throw.
And Aaron Gordon lost. But really, that's
I think they need to have actual winners of dunk contests.
yes, that's
judging.
what they're
contest.
saying.
You can't have some.
But really,
Chadwick
the dunk
Boseman.
contest. Check it out. Regardless what Aaron Gordon did and what Derrick Jones Jr. did, Sunday, Saturday, whatever the
Right.
fuck it was. Imagine if the dunk contest had Zion Williamson, had like John Morant, just like some real star players in it. Whoever Zion's going against, unless Zion's missing all his dunk, he's gonna win
Yeah.
because it's Zion Williamson, and that's what motherfuckers do. That's what they do.
Can he dunk any other way? Though?
Yeah, I don't know. He's power dunk. I don't know if he's creative and shit.
Can't you just tomahawk in all
but the
four?
travesty is, if he went against Aaron Gordon, he would probably still squeak out a win against Aaron Gordon. Even
He
though
was
we
doing
like
some between the legs shit in the Rising Stars game.
right.
Right, I saw that. But that
that's
was,
the
but he missed all of it.
NBA
Yeah,
needs that
yeah,
shit.
Don't forget that.
And I guarantee you, if you had Aaron Gordon and Zion, and if you had all these major players or famous players in the dunk contest, then
yeah.
you'd have real legitimate you'd have Dominique, you'd have Dr. J, you'd have all these real dunkers being the judges, and there wouldn't be 10s.
Why would you need stars though?
You don't.
You got hops.
Right,
Like, I'm
but-
trying to see some crazy shit. I don't give a fuck what LeBron do.
Right, but you remember back in the day when the dunk contest had like 8 motherfuckers in it, and then they had like one round, and they had like another round,
Yeah.
and like another round, and final. That's when the shit was really competitive because motherfuckers understood the dunk contest meant something.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you had 4 competitors last week. 4. I think the year before that you may have
Dwight Howard,
six.
the
you know.
dude
I
from
wouldn't have. I
Milwaukee.
wouldn't even watch if I known. I swear, I thought. I didn't even look at the results. I thought Aaron Gordon had clearly won against Zach LaVine. I didn't even wait
Nah,
for
he
the
didn't- he didn't
results.
win. He didn't
After
win.
the mascot thing, bro, do you understand if that man made one mistake by an inch? That's it for his.
He'd have been sitting on his
spot-
neck.
Yeah, for a while. Like,
Yeah, he didn't clear a 7'6" guy, a 7'5" guy, but he would have cleared a 7-foot guy. But that wasn't enough, you know. Like that don't make no sense. But
Yeah.
but that's the thing. You can do that to a lesser player like Aaron Gordon. You can't do that shit.
I
to
blame
Zion.
LeBron for this whole shit.
I mean, yeah,
He was the start of the star player not doing a dunk contest.
You're right. You're right. I would
Nobody
agree
else.
with that.
Pat, who was the last star besides Kobe?
Probably Blake Griffin.
he
I mean, because Blake
yeah.
was
Yeah.
he was a well-known player, so it was probably
And
Blake.
he lost that year to Nate, right?
I don't even know. I know Nate won it 3 times. I don't fucking
No,
know.
he lost one year to Nate when he
Well, no,
jumped
I'm
over
saying,
the
but he
kid,
did
though,
win
yeah.
3 times. I didn't realize motherfucker won. I thought he competed like once against
Who,
Dwight
Nate
Howard.
Robinson?
I never
Nate
saw him
Robinson
win.
won
but
it 3 fucking times.
he only won because he's 5'9".
Right.
Right.
But it was
Webb
because
had
it was a
some-
spectacle. That's what I'm saying. Like because you don't have the
'Cause you're a
elite
sideshow.
players. Yeah.
Right. And then at the same time, you gotta take into account that Aaron Gordon's like 6'9" or something like that.
6'8".
But Aaron Gordon, they could let him lose because Aaron Gordon is not a household name.
And he's on the shooting team
He wasn't an all-star.
in a
No,
low market.
none of them motherfuckers in the dunk contest were all-stars.
Yeah, I don't know.
You should have to be an
But you had
all-star
all-stars
to
in the three-point contest.
That's what I'm saying. You should have to be in. You should have to be an all-star to compete in any fucking thing in an all-star game.
Skills challenge,
That should be rule
dunk
1.
competition, three-point challenge.
Right. That should be rule 1. Because in the Pro Bowl, when they're doing them stupid-ass Pro Bowl games,
They're all Pro Bowlers.
yeah,
Right. No. Wait, what we saw, you went to the practice and I went to the game. Last Pro Bowl game, let's be real.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl
Ain't
is
nobody,
trash. It
yeah,
is
ain't
trash.
nobody trying to hurt each
But I'm
other.
But
talking
at the
about-
same point, it's the star power that's
right.
there.
Right. It's the liabilities that are there, though.
No, I get
Like,
it. I
the
get it. But
liability
in
period.
basketball, in the NBA,
What's what I'm talking about? The liability of me putting LeBron James doing some crazy shit and then oops, the season's gone. Aaron Gordon gets hurt, or the other brother with the box with no fade, like what's his name?
Joe Jr.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm saying. Nobody's wishing like that's it.
right? But you
3-point
still
is-
want to see if you're not gonna have the all-stars in it. At least have like the N1 motherfuckers. Have people that are just strictly there to do some great dunks.
We
And
saw
don't
great
even
dunks.
judge the shit.
We saw,
Right, but you also saw a quote-unquote robbery because you had Dwayne. We're talking more and more about Dwayne Wade as a judge than we really
Being
are
biased.
about the fucking dunks. Because it don't matter. The dunk contest doesn't
I saw
matter.
that though. I don't think it was Dwayne Wade's fault though.
Mm.
You're kind of put in a position where everybody down the line is giving this man a 9 and all that, like, and then you're the last guy to determine if this is a tie or not.
Well, no,
So you either
they
give a
said
9
Dwayne because he was a former teammate. So.
Right, but so you had a choice of giving it a tie
Or looking out for your boy.
Which that's what they said. They said it was supposed to end in a tie.
And then it was supposed to go to a judge off, which would have led to Aaron Gordon winning.
Yo, that's a
'Cause he got all
setup,
of it
man.
except for the end.
It's almost like the transgender shit with his son, and it's like, yo, man, we're gonna try to destroy this man. Put him in a turtleneck, and then
pink
have him
turtleneck
does the
with
yeah,
big polka dots.
yeah.
But my question is this: my question is, when Vince Carter won, what do you remember about Vince Carter in the dunk contest? What do you remember about Blake Griffin when he won? What do you remember about Nate when he won?
I don't remember shit about Nate.
When Derrick Jones Jr.
I
won the dunk
remember
contest, you
Nate
remember.
Robinson jumped over Sped Webb.
I remember
Right, but I'm saying, but you
Vince
remember,
put his
you
arm
remember the
around.
dunks. You remember the dunks.
Yeah.
You don't remember the judging.
No, I don't.
Who the fuck judged last?
I remember the
them
Kobe
other
judging,
motherfuckers-
though. I
Right, but
vividly
who were
remember
the
that.
judges when Kobe dunked? Who were the judges when Michael Jordan dunked? Nobody fucking knows them. It's just like referees. When you know who the official is, it's because they fucked up.
Right, I think people are giving Dwayne Wade too much. I think especially in the brother community because his son trying to chop off his penis. I think we're judging
Possibly.
him, and then we're adding that to the fact that he may have picked his boy. But you put him in a bad space. It's
He
either
put himself in a bad space.
Yeah.
He should have declined to fucking judge the shit.
Yeah, he should
Yeah.
say, "Nah, I'm here just to chill with the."
everybody gets
Just be a
first,
fucking announcer like you were earlier.
Yeah, like Reggie Miller and all them.
which is
motherfuckers.
even crazier that all those dunks prior to that got 50s. Then the last one is like
The 47?
09. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now his brother's like sitting there like, all right, I either go Eric Gordon.
Aaron Gordon looked like he wanted to cry at the end of that.
Yeah, he was pissed.
Like,
I mean, but I
he
would
tried
have
to
felt
play
that
it
way
off.
too. But that's what I'm saying. Aaron Gordon went there to win the dunk. That was his highlight of the weekend
After
because he
got
wasn't
robbed
going to
by
be an
Zach
All
LaVine,
Star.
he wanted to win that shit.
Yeah, he wasn't going to be an All Star, so he was like, "Look, this is what I came
Then
here
he
for."
got robbed. But think about that. You got to understand. Think about the dunks he did last year.
Right.
Those were dangerous as hell when you really
No, they
think
are.
about what they were doing. The man Jones or Nate or Levine, it was the same dunk over and over. This dude literally is jumping over
Levine
mass.
did do some nasty ones too. I mean, I
The
would say
Space
this.
Jam
I
dunk
will
was
say
fire.
I will say this: Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon. That one could have went either way.
I just think it needs to be.
I do believe Aaron Gordon had the better dunks overall, but I can understand how you go both ways.
It's gotta
This-
be
this shit,
past-
It shouldn't have went like that.
It's got to be past, I think, winners of the dunk contest. To
Yeah,
judge,
that's what it should
period.
be.
This way, you're not putting Wakanda Kid and Common
Right.
into the same.
But you also need stars in the dunk contest, so you don't give a fuck who the damn refs
You
are.
should at least know how to play
Officials.
basketball if you don't fucking play.
Well, that's just
I
that though.
agree.
Why can't
I
it just
agree.
be like back in the days? Like you had
Because these motherfuckers don't
Irvin,
compete no more.
Daryl, Chocolate
J.
Thunder, and all that.
Yeah.
Like, just keep the back. Like, make sure they're old school basketball players. You still got Shaq.
Dr.
you
J
still-
used to score. He used to
Yeah,
judge.
he used to be
And
there
Shaq
all
did
the
too.
time. Yep.
Right, and then I
Kenny Smith, because he participated. I don't know if he won, but he was in
Yeah,
there.
he
Do
won
you
one.
remember
Yeah.
when Kobe's dunk contest? You had the players, the star players in the crowd. You had the young upcoming stars. So they're picking like you couldn't actually put LeBron James in dunk contest because that'd be a bad business move.
Now,
Well, when he was younger, he should have had his ass
his
in there.
rookie year or the second year, he should.
Yeah.
Right, but
First
you
2-3
remember
years, he
his
should have
rookie
had his ass
year? Who else was on the Cavs other than LeBron that you can remember in his rookie year? Larry Hughes, and that was on his back end of his career. So I'm not about to be picking my own the person that's actually even generating money. We're not going to win a championship, but he's generating money. The fact that people are going to see him, he fucks up or slips.
No, I get it.
It's a
But
wrap.
think about it. How many injuries have you seen in the dunk contest?
I guess not. I mean,
Right.
I ain't never seen him.
I'm sure somebody has been tweaked, but
Nothing that you can't
Yeah.
return and get.
But I think
you
it
can
takes
get
some
hurt.
years off.
Yeah, but think about this too. Doing 4, 5, 8 dunks.
Have
right?
you seen
hurt
Chris
in the last
Carter?
line.
Have you seen Chris Carter play lately?
Chris Carter.
Not
Or
Chris.
Vince.
Vince Carter.
Yeah,
He's
he's old.
still
He's
young, yeah.
42.
But here's my
He
point.
doesn't even shoot for three.
But here's my point though, Mike. Here's my point.
To Sam
So-
Perkins
A player of LeBron's
caliber.
caliber can't be in the dunk contest, but he can be in the All-Star game and go full out in the All-Star game. The Rising Stars players can be in the Rising Stars game, but they can't be in a dunk contest.
You liable to get hurt in the All-Star game
Right.
before you get hurt in the dunk
Exactly.
Right.
But you're
Remember-
playing a full game.
Right.
The
You know
All-Star
Paul
game
George
means
broke his
something,
leg doing the
Yeah.
the scrimmage USA shit. He was doing real basketball
MVP
shit.
of the All-Star game is a very big honor. Like, let's just be real. Like,
It is,
everybody's taking it
because
very
because you're against the best of the best.
You
The
all right
All-Star
there,
game, the All-Star dunk, whoever wins the dunk contest would be the same if you had
Right.
All-Stars in it.
Right.
Everything you should just have to be an All-Star.
All I'm
to
saying is
do
you
it.
should just have judges that are
Be an
actually
All-Star
playing.
and know how to dunk.
Right. Period. Right.
You
And
gotta
then
be a
after
fucking
that,
I
All-Star.
like
Period.
Candace Parker, but Candace Parker ain't doing no dunks with any kind of degree of difficulty.
Yeah.
wait, Candace Parker was
Yeah,
in
she was one of
dunk
the
contest?
judges.
She
Yeah.
judged because she dunked in a college game and she dunked in WNBA.
Yeah.
But
you
it's just
see
the
the
one
dunk?
hand,
Yeah, it was that.
the one hand tip in. I mean, you're just long.
Yeah, let's segue that. Yo, if women basketball, I keep seeing this, women basketball players talking about how they need to be paid the same.
If the WNBA generated the same money as the NBA, then pay them the same.
Period. I don't see how that's not being how's that not relating to the other side of feminists. Like, look,
It's like
I would pay her $8 million if she was bringing me
it's
$16,000
like
dollars
if you
in.
work at JCPenney's and you're asking for Nordstrom money. Well, shit, if JCPenney's is bringing in Nordstrom revenue, then you get fucking Nordstrom money.
That's just how it goes. And this is my solution. If any WNBA players listening, lower the basket by a foot. Yo, once that happens, Candace Parker throwing from the free throw line, just jamming on them. I would watch it after that, but I can't be watching.
Because the ball's already smaller, so why
Right.
not lower it?
But would you
Yeah.
would you advocate for women in the NBA?
No.
Why not? Why not like guards and shit? Why not?
There we go with this.
Why not?
Look, man, we already know the physical attributes.
No, I
of
get
these
it. I
sets.
get it. But think about the game now.
Have you ever been punched in your stomach?
Think about the game.
Have you ever been punched
Yeah,
in your
I
stomach?
have. Yeah. But think about the game.
Did it cripple you for a week?
If think about it, if Candace Parker, if one of these females was in the game and they got hit, guess what's gonna happen to the motherfucker that hit them? Suspension.
Who wants to watch that, bro?
I'm just saying, with the way the game is today, where you can't touch a motherfucker,
Nah.
they can play. If you can shoot, they can play.
As soon as Candace Parker get a block right in the grill, it's a wrap
Okay,
for
well,
it.
then it takes care of itself. If you can't compete,
He's
you
doing
can't
that to
compete.
his partner at home and all that. This is too much shit.
You know who
going
Trey?
on.
Have you seen Trey Young? Have you seen him? He's a
Young's
little
so
small, frail dude, and he's out there.
Yeah.
If a female could shoot like Trey Young and pass like Trey Young, why not?
No.
Why not?
The liability of her getting hurt or
The
something.
liability of Trey Young getting hurt.
It's like people ain't thinking this out, bro. It's like
You know who Kawhi Leonard is?
it's the same thing with the
You know who Kawhi
transgender
Leonard
bathroom, bro. Nobody's thinking these shits out.
No, Mike, that's different.
It's the same thing.
That's different.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
How is
If you
it
can
not?
compete, you can compete.
You are putting
If you
people-
can't compete, no, I'm not. See, what you're thinking I'm doing is saying like, well, fuck it. Let's just combine them, and then you gotta have 4 women on your team. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you can be there, if you can play point guard or whatever, if you got a big fucking woman as big as Shaq and she can get out there and dunk on motherfuckers, let her play.
I agree with that.
Let her play.
I agree with that.
Like that's what I'm saying. If they can be equal, let them play.
Have you ever seen
No,
that
I haven't.
happen?
I haven't. But I'm talking
It
about
doesn't exist.
the game is changing. The game is less physical nowadays. It's more. There's no back to the basket fucking pop. That shit don't happen.
Right, but
There's
then
a
you
lot.
also have
Steph
to have
Curry. I mean, think about it. These
Yeah.
motherfuckers are just.
women are
I don't
fast
say
and all.
frail,
I'm not
but-
saying they are, but I think like, okay,
It
that's
would
starting.
take a special.
Right. That's what.
talent.
That's what I'm saying. And if you're special enough to make it, let them play.
I would love to see that if that could actually happen.
I think. Well, of course, there'll be a female head coach before there'll be a.
Right.
We already had a female assistant coach, head coach.
I mean, head coach like.
Right. I think that before that it would be that, but as
Or
in putting
GM.
women, because like we need to really pay attention to this shit that's happening. I mean, I know you just grazing over it, but that MMA chick that basically dent the skull of another female in a ring and then had the nerve to say that she had the advantage because I'm on estrogen and she naturally has it. Yo, look, I'm just saying. We need to make sure sports. I think football, as in like women in places like a kicker or punter and things like that, where they cannot get hurt. I know everybody wants to think that women are just as hard as men, but
No,
it's not true.
but that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying
She is still on the court with a bunch of grown ass men.
Right.
And if she
And
gets
if they
caught,
body her and they bang her and she can't hack it, then she can't play. But if she can hack it, let her play.
but think about the first dude to ever bump or body her and she gets bruised. It's a wrap for his procreation career. He's not fucking no more. It's a wrap for him, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. Let's just keep those things separated. I think women actually, if you lower the basket by a foot and actually have women able to dunk, then you're actually going to raise the revenue. Because I would pay to see Candace Parker dunk on a chick on a 9-foot rim.
Right, but
then
I
she
think
can do
you-
it between
I think you have to
legs.
have
She
the
can
evolution.
reverse it, huh?
I think you have to have more evolution and more women need to start.
No, women just need
Women are, when women start looking like dudes and playing like dudes, then I think the scale is going to be a little bit closer.
Are we waiting for this to happen?
I'm not.
I'm not trying to see some chick with some Warren Sapp back and Tig Old Bitty. Like, I'm not trying to see that. Like, I'm.
But if she can ball, I mean, who cares, right?
All right, whatever. Okay, where are we at there?
Well,
That's it.
We'll
gonna get
go
to
ahead
it.
and wrap it up because we took way too much on that
We'll-
first topic.
we'll worry about. But I also wanted one more thing. It's just 5 minutes. It's a shout out to the coronavirus whistleblowers. Nobody's really talking about these people, but they're going up missing, and yet they're actually reporting on things that are very important to the world,
Mhm.
and they're going up missing. So I'm just a shout out.
What do you think that could be though? Why do you think that's happening?
They've been actually releasing shit to social media with bodies stacked, and pictures of hospitals and things like that.
So the threat has been the leaks have been eliminated. Is what you're saying?
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
agenda, a collective effort.
Yeah,
to
they've literally just vanished. Like, so the reason I wanted to bring that up.
That's what I'm saying. People can do what the fuck they want. If you have power, you can do what you want.
Shouts out to them, or at least not just them. I mean, I think the coronavirus is. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a virus and it hurt arms, but there's a lot of shit pressing on our places. people on this earth other than the coronavirus.
Right, there's a lot to talk about.
Right.
We get it.
But I mean, I'm giving shout out to people that are seeing a problem and pointing it out. Knowing that the backlash to it means sacrificing who they are and maybe their economic situation. You gotta understand. Remember, like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, other people we praise were whistleblowers to some degree. Just remember that we gotta keep that, at least support them, think about them, things like that. This way, the next person that sees some crazy shit, he's not just gonna turn his cheek because he don't want to be involved. Like, we gotta start supporting these people.
I agree. And speaking of support, I appreciate everyone who's been supporting the show.
Yeah.
Like I said, we do this because y'all constantly ask us to do this, and you guys follow us, and you guys
And it's our duty.
listen.
It's
Yeah.
our duty as family, despite the race and color.
Right. Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
Oh, is that right?
No, we love everybody, Mike. We love everybody.
All right.
We love everybody.
All right. We're gonna get to that. But yeah,
We will.
I enjoy this. It's good to see you guys. It's good to see these
Yeah,
men.
good to see y'all.
We're gonna be on camera. Well, I keep saying that.
You do.
but
Yeah,
but
we've been saying we're
iron
gonna be
out
on
the
camera for like
details.
4 years now.
yeah,
but-
yeah, but we gonna get there. Honestly. Yeah.
But yeah, just keep rocking with us, man. There may be some changes, but just keep rocking with us.
yeah.
Ron, you got anything else?
No, I'm good, man.
R.I.P.
Another
Kobe
good show.
Bryant. R.I.P. to him. You know.
Pop Smoke, another dude.
Yeah, Pop. Yeah,
young
20-year-old, yeah.
kid that was just killed today.
And anyone
Yeah.
else who tragically lost their life,
Absolutely.
hopefully not forgetting
R.I.P.
nobody.
Kobe. And no, it has nothing to
Adriana.
do with
Yeah.
Illuminati
And
or
the rest of the crew.
Like black people, just focus on the death and then get back to shit. Like get
Mike,
back to
but
what
we
you
love
got.
hysteria. Everyone loves hysteria. Not just black people.
Just
Everyone
look,
loves
folks, like
his
yes, it was a good man. I'm pretty sure he took care of his kids. But remember, his legacy is putting a ball of hoop.
Yeah,
Not
that
taking
was
things-
the father that we lost right there.
Yeah, let's focus
Father.
on that rather than
So
A black father,
Right.
but
again,
Just Us Show. If you love us, tell a friend. And if you hate us,
tell everybody you know.
that's what I'm talking about.
and we are